A gun control group in New Mexico decided to organize their own door-to-door gun buyback without law enforcement and is now being investigated by the Sheriff's Department for violating the state's background check laws. Background check laws that they not only lobbied for, but also helped write. You do not want to miss this one. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This story is absolutely hilarious and I thought would be a great little Christmas gift to bestow upon you all. I feel like there is some kind of story like this every holiday season that is just hilarious and ridiculous, and I was just starting to think that this year would disappoint. And also, in the spirit of Christmas, I'm going to be doing a huge giveaway on my channel, but more about that later. First, let's jump right in. This whole thing is a perfect example of people lobbying for laws they don't understand to regulate things they also don't understand. Santa Fe-based New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence announced a gun buyback event in Farmington earlier this year, but the city canceled the event and law enforcement pulled out after public backlash. The group decided they were going full steam ahead anyway and showed up on December 16th going door to door, giving people gift cards in exchange for their guns. Then they posted about it on social media. Our gun buyback was canceled by the city, but local residents asked us to show up anyway, states the post, which included a photo of several firearms that had been cut in half. And that's what got them in trouble. Now, the San Juan County Sheriff's Office is investigating the group after concerned citizens saw the post, came forward, and suggested the group had broken the state's universal background check laws, which require background checks even for private transfers. Rep. Stephanie Lord has also called for the ATF, State Attorney General, and FBI to investigate the group's actions. In fact, I believe she even called the ATF herself. The New Mexico Shooting Sports Foundation praised the group for joining forces with the rogue sheriffs and bad faith critics by refusing to comply with laws criminalizing private firearm transfers in New Mexico. But the group claims they did nothing illegal. They say there was no transfer and that they destroyed the guns before leaving people's homes, even though they took the guns with them. We have been doing this for years, they wrote. Often, police give people our phone number when they want to turn in an unwanted firearm. This doesn't violate any background check laws as there is no transfer of firearms. We simply dismantle them. All that is left is wood and metal. Except they took the guns in exchange for a gift card and merely cut the guns in half, which is not enough to satisfy the ATF's definition of destroyed. By ATF definition, they bought a gun with a gift card and simply took it apart. And in some cases, that is all they did. They took the gun apart and thought that somehow legally that made it no longer a gun. All right, folks, before I get into the rest of the details on this one, I promised a giveaway in the intro. I am happy to announce that this channel is doing its first ever giveaway courtesy of Vanish Holsters, and it is huge. Vanish holsters are designed for everyday Americans and not just the upper echelon of gun owners. This holster right here fits 99% of modern handguns, carries 2 extra mags, and will be the most comfortable holster you've ever worn or your money back, guaranteed. It is lightweight, universal, ambidextrous, and most importantly, it won't print. It's hard to find a holster that fits these qualifications and fits under my dresses and circle skirts, so if it works for me, it'll work for you. Now, the most exciting part. Vanish is giving one of you this incredible Jeep Gladiator and over $25,000 worth of gold. To enter, all you have to do is click the link down in the description and get yourself the most comfortable holster you've ever worn. And as a bonus, using my link will get you $40 off and 120,000 bonus entries with each purchase up until December 31st. So thanks again to Vanish Holsters, and now back to the regular video. The group's president, Miranda Viscoli, claims that not all the people got gift cards and that they were careful to only give them the gift card after the guns were taken apart. She says she also doesn't understand why these guns, taken without the aid of law enforcement in people's homes, were any different than what happens at official buybacks. She said no one runs background checks at those events, which also brings up an interesting point that those two might be considered firearm transfers and technically against the law. New Mexico's law, signed in 2019, does have an exception for transfers to law enforcement, but other states don't. Sheriff Shane Ferrari says, reviewing the law, I do not see where they are exempt from having to undergo a background check and are required to like anyone else. A sale is taking place, gift cards of $100 and up. It is advertised as a purchase and called a buyback. But we all know the left loves to play semantics. And so, of course, the group said that it doesn't count because the guns are worth more than the gift cards they're exchanging, and that the gift card is more of a thank you than a sale. The law, that again they helped write, only requires that something of value be exchanged, and a gift card is certainly something of value. Viscoli argues that once they cut the guns in half, not the 3 pieces required by the ATF, this magically turned the gun parts into merely wood, metal, and plastic rather than a gun, which is what gun rights advocates have been saying all along, that parts are not in and of themselves firearms, but the ATF disagrees, and so do gun control groups in every other situation. Viscoli says she then took these still legally firearms and gave them to a local artist to use in artwork. Also technically a transfer. But the irony goes even further because Viscoli and her group not only lobbied for the law, they take credit for helping to write it. And yet they don't even understand the law, let alone gun laws, as they already stand. In any other situation, if I say to you, I would like to give you this gift card to purchase your firearm for my buyback, and you say, here you go, a transfer has just taken place. They don't get to be exempt just because they're a gun control group. Well, legally speaking, they're probably going to get off completely in this whole thing. There are also questions as to whether or not their efforts to destroy guns merely created short barrel rifles like Karen Mallard did when she cut an AR-15 in half in 2018 as part of her political campaign. Except she was dumb enough to do it on video and then got a visit from the ATF. I covered that back in 2018 on this video here, though fair warning, it might have been before I had a proper microphone, so be gentle with the production value. Viscoli says that after the buyback was canceled, 4 residents called the group and asked how to get rid of their guns. Instead of telling them to just surrender them to their local police department, she says that she felt it was her moral obligation to personally go to their homes and perform the private buybacks. The Farmington police say that they're not investigating because they were the ones that gave out the gun control group's phone number to begin with when the handful of residents called up wanting to get rid of their guns, which is weird in and of itself when those people could have just surrendered the guns to the cops. Perfectly legally. Like I said earlier, I fully expect nothing to happen here, but it's nice to see these folks have to sweat a little bit for violating their own law. At the very least, the Sheriff's Department is investigating it, who brought it up to the Attorney General, who is also looking at it, and the ATF has the information. If Biden's ATF were consistent, then they would investigate the crap out of this. But because it's a gun control group, they're probably not, and they are going to get special treatment, as one state official basically already said. Because it's only okay when it's part of your political agenda. Anyways, I thought that would be a nice little bit of Christmas cheer for you guys. You know the algorithm drill. Like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Ring that notification bell and drop a comment down below. I recently had a video flagged by YouTube. In fact, it was the video about 3D printed guns being used in the Burmese Civil War to help aid the rebels, who are supposed to be the good guys that the left and mainstream media cheer for in every other situation. but YouTube didn't like that video. So that basically sets me back in the algorithm and I have to work my way back up the ladder again, blah, 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 blah. It's a whole bunch of crap. But any interaction with this video helps toward that end, so please do all the things. Or don't. You know, I'm not a tyrannical government telling you what to do. But what I will tell you is to have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, happy shooting.